microphone on. The June 10th, 2026 meeting of the Local Planning Agency of the City of Dunedin will now come to order. The Local Planning Agency is an advisory board of citizens appointed by the City Commission. This board is comprised of volunteers who represent the thoughts and concerns of the community. The purpose of tonight's meeting is to make recommendations to the City Commission regarding each item on the agenda. Tonight's format will be as follows. I will introduce each item on the agenda, after which the city representative will present information about it. Thereafter, the members of the Local Planning Agency will have an opportunity to ask questions of the city representative. Finally, anyone from the public may come forward. Those from the public wishing to provide comment will need to please approach the lectern, state your name and address, and then utilize the microphone at the speaker's lectern in order for their comments to be recorded. And I lost my spot. Okay. Individual public speakers will be limited to 3 minutes of speaking time, and we kindly request that speakers are respectful of the clock countdown. Citizens speaking on an agenda item shall not engage in loud, boisterous, and/or disruptive speech or conduct. Any speaker that has continued inappropriate or irrelevant comments will be requested to relinquish the podium by the chair. The first item on our agenda tonight is to approve the May 13th, 2026 LPA minutes. Are there any corrections, additions, or deletions to the minutes?
Nope.
Nope.
All right. Hearing none, do I hear a motion to accept the minutes as submitted?
I'm so moved.
Okay.
I second.
Second. The item has been moved and seconded to accept the minutes as submitted. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All right. The second item on the agenda this evening is item 1B, recommendation to the City Commission regarding Ordinance 25-02, amending Chapter 111 of the Land Development Code, Historic Preservation, and Resolution 25-13, amending the Certificate of Appropriateness Matrix as required by Chapter 111 of the Land Development Code. Member Kynes?
Yes. I'd like to, first of all, I want to ask the attorney, this is a legislative issue, correct? Okay, I do sit as the chairman of the Historic Preservation Advisory Committee. Is it appropriate that I recuse myself?
Did this specific item come before you?
This item, we completely went through the entire ordinance at our last meeting, which was when? A week ago? A month ago?
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
3, 4. Yeah, in abundance of caution, I would recommend that you recuse yourself from deliberations and voting, and we still would have a quorum. That's what I also taking into account. So I think we can move forward with that, with her recusal.
Okay.
Yeah,
For this one item.
Do it for the one item then.
for this one item.
Okay, I shall get off the
You
podium.
can remain at the dais if you prefer, but you can step down if you would like.
I'll recuse myself as far as possible.
And then there were 4.
No, you can't recuse yourself. No. I think this will be quick. All right. Thank you, Member Kynes. Staff, please proceed with the presentation.
All right. Good evening, Acting Chair, board members. I'm Frances Leong Sharp, Planner 2 for the city, here presenting the draft ordinance number 25-02. As you may have recalled, that this board had reviewed and made a motion to recommend approval with some changes from the last meeting that we have brought to you on July 9th, 2025. And since then, there's been some significant changes and actions that were done in between that. Following the LPA meeting of last year, we did bring it over to the first reading to the City Commission for their review and recommendation of approval. In the midst of, after following the first reading, it has come to a discovery from staff that the draft ordinance had to be reviewed by the state prior to the adoption of the ordinance. And since then, staff had submitted the draft ordinance to the state, effectively also being reviewed by the National Park Service, and received comments by both the state and the National Park Service, and then made adjustments to the draft that you see here this evening. And one of the key big changes that you will see in our draft ordinance is the removal of the possible creation of historic district. And then since then, addressing any further housekeeping comments that were provided by the state, staff did retransmit the updated draft back to the state for their approval, and hence we received approval as of recent. And then from then, due to the significant changes, the reason why we're bringing it back to you as the local planning agency with the changes so that we have a cleaner record that all of the recommending bodies had received some form of recommendation of the draft ordinance prior to presenting it to the City Commission for first reading. Since then, the Historic Preservation Advisory Committee reheard the draft, reviewed the draft on May 14, 2026. Resulted that a unanimous recommendation of approval. And then now, since the distribution of the draft ordinance that you see here this evening, staff has made some minor adjustments based on the comments that were provided from an individual from the public, which are an error by the staff in not removing the historic district column or row in the tables in the attached ordinance that you see here tonight. But those have been corrected and will be presented without those mention of the historic district to the City Commission. And then I know that the acting chair had provided me some comments, and so there will be some further minor corrections to be done with the draft. But with that said, if there are any minor clarifications or corrections that you do find within the draft, please let the staff know. Other than that, staff once again has recommending recommended the approval of the draft ordinance, and I am available for any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Francis. Are there any questions for staff?
I have one comment, I suppose. On the, I still see that the 50-year time frame is in there.
Yes.
I mentioned this last time, and the idea of putting in a hard year for that as opposed to continuing to slide on through for 50 years. Every year for, just looking back, 50 years from right now would have been, 1976, so.
Yes, so as a clarification, that is the typical standard, is that a structure that is one of the criteria that a structure is eligible for a historic landmark is of the age of the building. And then within the ordinance, if you read a little bit more closely, we're not only asking that the structure to be at least 50 years old, but the structure must also meet one of the following criteria that are listed within that section for landmark designation. So I guess in layman's term, just the age of the structures does not necessarily qualify for a landmark. They need to meet one of those criteria that are listed out in the ordinance to satisfy it.
Good, thank you, that's helpful.
Yes.
A couple things, and one kind of going back to what you asked. Since this has been now sent to the state and reviewed through them, that's more of a standard language, like I said, standard 50 years.
Yes.
That is part of their requirement for being part of our ordinance. Also, just a point of clarity, and I think I heard you say that, that even though we're still using the same ordinance number from last year, and actually we should be celebrating its first birthday, should have brought in cupcakes and everything, because it's been actually a year. There still will be 2 readings of the ordinance, because I know it passed
Correct.
the city commission the first time and never went to a second. So, but this is a kind of a reboot, but using the same ordinance number.
Correct.
Okay. And then it will be in front of the commission 2 times.
Yes.
Okay. Great. Thank you. Okay. At this point, I'd like to open the microphone for public input. Do we have any one from the public that wishes to speak on this item? Please approach the lectern, state your name and address, and you are limited to 3 minutes of speaking time. I see nobody moving very quick. All right. Seeing none, we'll close public input. And we're going to have that. All right, and at this point in time, I will ask for a motion.
I move that we accept the amendments as offered.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, thank you. Any deliberation by anybody? It seems like we're good. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And the vote passes unanimously. At this point in time, if there's nothing else from the board members, we can adjourn the meeting. So adjourned. All right. That's it? That's it?